It was pouring rain that evening. The streets were nearly empty, except for a few tired souls rushing home. A man in a wrinkled shirt sat on a soaked bench at a bus stop, clutching a half-wrapped sandwich. Beside him, his little daughter shivered in her yellow raincoat, holding a lunchbox. They looked exhausted, like life had been giving them one storm after another. Then, out of nowhere, a young woman appeared. Her clothes were torn and stained, her eyes red from crying. She sat down next to them, her shoulders trembling. When she finally spoke, her voice cracked softly through the rain. "I'm hungry," she said. The man didn't hesitate. He took the sandwich he had been saving for himself and gently handed it to her. "Here," he said. "You need it more than I do." She looked at him in disbelief, a stranger giving away his last meal. That small act would change both of their lives forever. Before we dive into this powerful story of kindness and fate, please take a second to subscribe to Kindness Lights, where true stories remind us that one small act can change a life. If this story touches your heart, hit the like button and share it with someone who believes in the goodness of people. And don't forget to comment with your thoughts. We love hearing your stories of kindness too. The man's name was Jack Reynolds. He was a single dad, working long hours at a local factory. Every day, he'd pack one sandwich for lunch, peanut butter and jelly, cheap and simple. Some days, when the bills piled up, he'd split it in half so his daughter, Lily, could have something for dinner too. That night, he and Lily missed their bus. They were waiting for the next one when the storm rolled in. Jack's back hurt, his shirt was damp, and all he could think about was getting his little girl home safe and warm. Then came the young woman, shaking, crying, clearly lost. She had no umbrella, no bag, not even shoes that looked fit for the weather. When she whispered that she was hungry, Jack's heart broke a little. He didn't ask questions. He didn't think about how little he had. He just reached into the small paper bag, pulled out his sandwich, and held it out. "Take it," he said softly. "We're okay." Lily looked up at him, confused. "But, Daddy, that's your dinner." Jack smiled and patted her head. "It's okay, sweetheart. Kindness comes back around." The woman hesitated, but hunger and gratitude won over her pride. She took a small bite and tears mixed with raindrops on her face. "Thank you," she whispered. "You have no idea how much this means." Jack just nodded. "We all hit rough patches," he said. "You'll get through it." They sat there quietly until the bus arrived. The woman thanked them again before disappearing into the night. Jack thought he'd never see her again. 2 weeks later, Jack was called into the manager's office at the factory. He feared the worst, maybe another round of layoffs. He'd been struggling to pay rent, and losing his job would have been the final blow. But when he walked in, a woman in an elegant suit stood waiting. She turned around, and his eyes widened. It was her, the woman from the bus stop. She smiled gently. "You probably don't remember me," she said, "but 2 weeks ago, you shared your sandwich with a stranger in the rain." Jack blinked. "I remember," he said slowly. "Are you okay?" She nodded, her eyes glistening. "More than okay. That night, I was running away. My father had just passed away, and I found out the company I thought I hated was now mine. I didn't want any of it. I felt lost, like nothing mattered. But your kindness, a stranger giving up his own meal for someone else, reminded me that the world still had good people. It made me go back, face my responsibilities, and see life differently." Jack was speechless. The woman stepped closer. "I never got to thank you properly. My name is Emily Carter." Jack's eyes widened. Everyone in town knew the Carter name, owners of one of the biggest real estate companies in the state. Emily smiled softly. "I looked for you because I wanted to repay your kindness, not with money, but with opportunity. I own this factory now, and I'd like to offer you a better position. You deserve it." Jack was stunned. "Ma'am, I didn't help you for anything in return," he said. "I know," Emily replied. "That's what makes it so powerful." She glanced at Lily, who stood shyly by her father's leg. "And you," she said warmly, "you have a good heart, just like your dad." Weeks turned into months. Jack became the head of maintenance at the factory, earning enough to move into a better home. Lily finally got her own room, filled with books and toys she'd only dreamed of before, and Emily visited often. She became like family, not out of charity, but friendship. She'd drop by for dinner, sometimes bringing fancy desserts that made Lily giggle. One evening, Jack asked her, "Why did you really come back to find me?" Emily smiled. "Because kindness like yours changes people. You reminded me that no matter how much money you have, it means nothing if you forget how to be human." Jack nodded, his eyes misty. "I just did what anyone should do." She shook her head. "Not anyone would. But you did. And that's why I'll never forget it." Years later, Lily grew up to start her own nonprofit, the Sandwich Project, dedicated to feeding homeless families. On every lunch bag, she printed the words her father once said, "Kindness comes back around." So the next time you see someone in need, remember Jack's story. One small act, a sandwich shared in the rain, can ripple out further than you'll ever know. You don't have to be rich to make a difference. You just have to care. Thank you for watching Kindness Lights. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and share it to spread the message. Because in the end, kindness really is what keeps the world shining.